Yes, people, yes, people, yes, people. Welcome back to the We Talk Football podcast. There's only one thing left to say. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home. I was actually hoping you join me there, Quakes, but that's fine, mate. How you feeling?
I'm all good, man. Obviously, buzzing, still on cloud nine after that result yesterday. It's very rare that England kind of deliver and don't let you down at some point in the tournament. Obviously, we remember the euphoria of the 2018 World Cup, but there was no expectation. This is like the first England game in a while where there's been major expectation and the boys have actually lived up to it. So, yeah, man, absolutely buzzing with it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, let's talk the lineup, Quakes. Let's talk the lineup. What were you thinking when the lineup was released?
The biggest surprise was Trippier, and obviously that got leaked a couple of hours before kickoff, which is something I just really don't understand, because from the British press point of view, leaking the lineup or leaking the England lineup is only going to benefit Croatia. So we're going to find out the lineup an hour before kickoff anyway. So I don't understand people who leak it. But yeah, the Trippier one was the biggest surprise. I feel like everybody understands that Gareth Southgate's a conservative manager. So Calvin Phillips next to Declan Rice in the midfield wasn't too surprising. And we know that Southgate rides with Raheem Sterling, so another big decision he made was not too surprising. The Trippier starting left back was a massive surprise, just because we have got Ben Chilwell and Luke Shaw, who are off the back of great individual seasons. So yeah, that was a strange one. The lineup was and Tyrone Mings as well. Let's not forget, starting left centre back, and a player that a lot of people criticise in terms of his performances in the warm up games leading up to the Euros. He's a player that's known to be a little bit rash, but all the decisions that Gareth Southgate made came to fruition and paid off for him. Sterling scored the goal. Calvin Phillips got the assist, a brilliant assist, and Trippier looked comfortable on the left side of a back four. So yeah, man, no complaints. And going forward in this tournament, it'll be interesting to see how Gareth Southgate lines us up.
Yeah, I mean, Gareth Southgate's has always got his critics, hasn't he? And he's always going to have the naysayers for every decision he makes. For me yesterday, I was baffled by the Kieran Trippier decision. And I also thought that the inclusion of Sterling, I think that most people was, well, as my dad's just said outside, bollocks. To be honest, I thought if Gareth Southgate was to pick the squad based on meritocracy, then obviously Grealish starts. The fact that he didn't even get on the pitch yesterday, I thought was a bit questionable. But other than that, I mean, it's the first time we've won an opening game of a Euros. So it's
that's tickled me.
Yeah, it's completely thrown me. But yeah, it was the first time we've won a game of an opening Euros. So we can't really complain too much. And if I'm honest, I think it's good that we've got a football manager in Gareth Southgate that is willing to make the unpopular decisions. You know, Gary Neville was saying on TV last night, I'm a big fan of Gary Neville, obviously, but he was saying that Gareth Southgate knows those players better than anyone, and he's clearly not afraid of making those hard decisions. And that's so true. That's so true. You know, across the country, everyone yesterday, like you were saying, they would have looked at that lineup and they've gone, Chilwell, Sancho, left out the squad. Trippier, right back, playing left back. I know he took loads of right backs and he's got to play them somewhere, but come on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Calvin Phillips one, like I think a few people were up in the air about that one. But again, realistically, you're probably going to pick him over Jude Bellingham just down to age and a little bit more experience. I mean, we're talking relative experience, really. But yeah, it was just overall, mate.
Positive.
It's all positive, yeah.
And also, like, it's with Southgate. We talked a little bit off air, but like with Southgate, people can criticize him. He's got his critics, very loud critics, which I don't really understand because he's got to the semi-final of both Nations League and a World Cup. But at the end of the day, it's his neck on the block. It's his job on the line. And he has to pick players that he has faith in. Trippier scored a goal for him in the World Cup semi-final. Like Raheem Sterling's been his ride or die since he's been England manager. Like he has to pick players he trusts, because at the end of the day, if he underperforms and he underperforms with a team that contains Jack Grealish, a player that maybe he would have felt pressure to put in the team because of fan pressure, whatever, and he goes out, that's his job on the line. He wants to go out with players that he can trust, with players that he knows will put in performance for him, players that have put in performance for him previously. So I understand the decisions, and obviously it's easy to say it off the back of a win, and maybe I'll be saying completely different. Well, I would be saying completely different things if he didn't win that game. But he's justified. He's only got really what in a major tournament, you've got 7 games to really show what you can do if you get to the final. And like stage 1 is he's ticked that box. So there's no criticism from my part on Gareth Southgate, and he can continue to pick whoever he feels like he needs to pick to win the games he needs to win.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the game as well. We haven't actually spoken about the game. Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this all season. Declan Rice, world class, mate. Declan Rice, world class. Calvin Phillips, but well, it was a world class performance. I don't know if I'm willing to call him world class yet. But mate, they put Croatia in their pocket. They didn't do anything over 90 minutes. There was no point during that game where I genuinely thought like we were going to concede. There were a few shaky points at the end of the game where there was a few snapshots from Rebic that went massively wide. But outside of that, it was completely comfortable.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I feel like it was a weird one because watching England, it's always tense, and it was tense in the first half, like when we hadn't scored a goal, but we were completely comfortable. We were dominating, and we were clearly the better football inside, and everybody was up in arms. Everybody was having fits about Croatia's midfield, and I feel like we won the midfield battle. 2 of our best performers were Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, and I feel like to a man, everybody had a good performance. And it'll just be interesting to see how we line up because everybody knows about that dreaded group of death. And if we win this group, which we are on course to do now after getting the toughest game out of the way, we do face either, more likely than not, Germany, France, or Portugal. So now Southgate, we know, is a pragmatic manager, and he's going to try and do whatever he needs to do to try and win this tournament. So I would not be surprised to see us obviously go full strength against Scotland, but there may be play a completely weakened side in the final game against Czech Republic, a la 2018, which we did the same thing against Belgium, because we knew the easier way to get through the tournament was coming second in that group. So don't be surprised for Gareth Southgate to be more pragmatic than positive going into the last game of the group, just because we know the finishing second in the group probably benefit us in the long run.
Yeah, nice. And we'll be back in a few days to give our predicted lineup for the Scotland game as well, which is going to be a big one.
Scotland on a Friday night, like it's going to be absolute carnage.
It's going to be crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. I was listening to the Match of the Day Top 10 podcast, and they were doing a joint nations starting 11, and I think I think it was 10 English players and then Andy Robertson at left back. Which I couldn't disagree with too much, but we need to be getting a result against Scotland. I think this is our tournament, Quakey. So we need a result. We need a result against Scotland. And as I said, we're back in a few days. But where can they find us, guys? Where can they find us, Quakes?
You can find us on Twitter at WTF Podcast 90. Find us on Instagram at We Talk Football Podcast. Obviously, we're on YouTube. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the We Talk Football channel on YouTube. And yeah, we'll be back with more videos very, very soon.
Sick. Cheers, guys. Catch you next time.